Hello, welcome back to the Watford Way. As you can tell, I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon, and not only have Watford won at home and are unbeaten in 13 games at Vicarage Road under Tom Cleverley, Luton have just lost 5-1 to Borough, which makes our victory ever so sweeter. And who knows, maybe Rob Edwards will lose his job over the international break. We'll have to wait and see. But Watford, as I just mentioned, 13 games now unbeaten at Vicarage Road under Tom Cleverley. That's a run that spreads obviously throughout this season and the few games he took in interim charge towards the end of last season as well. And what a run Watford have been on. It hasn't been always the sexiest and prettiest of football to watch. In the first half, especially in the stands, I was actually quite bored watching Watford. Not a lot happened in that first half. I thought both teams were distinctly average, and it looked like quite a drab game under the lights at Vicarage Road. But in the second half, once again, the main man down that right-hand side taken on his fullback, Vakoun Bayo, with a moment of absolute magic. He ran probably 30 to 40 yards down that right touchline. A lovely ball into Vakoun Bayo, who found himself on that penalty spot. His initial shot was saved by Jamie coming for Oxford, and then Vakoun Bayo, the Crow, stuck away the rebound in the end, which was very well deserved actually. Vakoun Bayo is a player who quite rightly deserved critique when he wasn't scoring, and I still think he deserves critique for some of his performances this season. But I have to say, it's really nice to have a striker who finally is scoring goals for Watford, and I think that's actually 6 goals for the season now for Bayo, albeit 4 of them goals did come against Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, Vakoun Bayo once again very, very impressive. I was gutted actually when he was taken off for Rocco Vata, who I thought had a really good cameo appearance himself. But the main man of the evening for me was Georgie Shakvatatse, who really was the standout player on the pitch. Now, I feel like I'm repeating myself in every match reaction when I talk about Georgie, but he is the magic man. He reminds me of players of past times, such as Gerard Deulofeu, Joao Pedro, Yasser Espria, just players, attacking players of that calibre who have been at the club previously. I think Georgie is right up there, and I think my one complaint with Georgie is that he does everything so well. He just needs to add a few more goals to his game. He's got a few assists this season, but the only goal he's got to his name was that free kick in the opening game against Millwall, which feels like a very, very long time ago. And actually, that was, almost 3 months ago now that Watford played Millwall on that opening day of the season, and Georgie has failed to score since then. So I think that's my one little critique of Georgie at Watford, is that he doesn't shoot enough when he gets into promising positions. He had a couple of good opportunities yesterday, that challenge coming in goal. But yeah, Georgie was by far the standout player. Absolutely superb. He ran the show. I can't give enough praise for him, really. He was absolutely brilliant to watch, and I do feel like Watford are slowly becoming a one-man team. A lot of our attacking play does seem to flow down Georgie's side, and I do feel if he wasn't available for whatever reason, maybe due to a suspension or an injury, I do feel Watford would struggle to create really anything meaningful in matches like we saw against Oxford yesterday. In terms of Oxford's performance, I thought for a newly promoted side, they had a great away following. I thought they played pretty resolutely. Defensively, they looked pretty good under quite a sustained period of Watford pressure. And actually, they fluffed a few decent chances, especially in that second half as well. They had a big chance in the first half in front of the Rookery end where one of their strikers, I think it was Dane Scarlett, he just couldn't get to the ball quick enough. But yeah, Oxford I found were a decent championship side, and from my perspective, I hope they stay up in the division this season. But for Watford, we're sitting pretty in the championship as I record this video. on Saturday afternoon. We sit fourth in the table, nicely in them playoff positions going into the international break. And Watford, as I say lots of times, we have a favourable set of fixtures now, looking ahead at the rest of November and kind of into the start of the Christmas period, really. Plymouth Argyle up next for the Hornets, which you would hope is a winnable game, but Watford are very unpredictable away from home. And maybe I think that's the wrong wording, actually. I say we're unpredictable. I think we are very predictable, that we will probably lose every single away game. But look, I want a replication of the second half against Sheffield Wednesday, where every shot seemed to go into the back of the net for Watford. And I want a few more draws away from home as well. I think that Watford are currently the lowest team in terms of draws accrued this season. Out of every championship team, Watford have only drawn one game thus far. So turning a few more defeats into ties, I think would be really beneficial, not only for morale away from home, but also for our points tally coming towards the end of the season. So all in all, delighted, solid defensive display. Matty Pollock immense in the air once again. Festia Baselli looked really good before he went off. Imran Louza, shout out for him. A silky smooth performance from Imran Louza in midfield. Back to his old self against Oxford, which you would expect. He's a talented player. He's Moroccan international. He's one of our highest paid players at the club. You would expect Louza to put in them types of performances, but we've just not seen enough from him so far this season. And actually, I think the suspension to Moussa Sissoko has led to Tom Cleverley experimenting with some players in midfield. Pierre Duomo's come in with some cameo performances and has done very well, in my opinion. Louza, as I mentioned, Kayembe, Tom Ince, they've all contributed to that Watford midfield while Sissoko has been out. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm delighted we're in the playoff positions. And Watford go to Home Park, hopefully looking to pick up 3 points on the road. Before I go, I have to say Tom Cleverley picked up his third yellow card of the season, which does mean Tom Cleverley will be serving a touchline ban away at Plymouth, which will certainly be an interesting dynamic. It'll be interesting to see which member of the Watford coaching staff takes up that touchline role against Plymouth. But I'm sure Tom Cleverley will be thoroughly involved from the stands, whether that's through texting the bench or wearing some sort of secret earpiece. I'm sure he'll be involved in some capacity. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the Oxford game in the comments section down below. We'll be back during the international break with a couple of videos talking about our season so far. And then we'll be looking ahead to Plymouth and our live match watch long for that game as well. So if you're new around here, please hit subscribe. Check us out on all our social media pages on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.